different stream as well. We're going to be taking a look at this chess war that happened between Halim and Hashim, and we're going to be analyzing the games as opposed to most streamed chess wars. I'm going to be streaming this game analysis, so this will be quite interactive with the viewers, hopefully. I'm glad the Twitch API is back. So now we're back on the front page, and hopefully we can get some viewers here. Yes, the beard has been shaved. It doesn't look the greatest, but give it a week and we'll be back up to speed in terms of yeah, the beard aesthetics. Okay, so who's in the chat? Should I wait a bit for someone to come in the chat so that we get some interaction, or should I begin a bit with the games? Let us maybe wait just a wee bit, maybe a minute or so. Check the stream out. Oh, Halim himself is in the chat now. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Halim. Halim thanking me, congratulating me on having shaved. Okay, so let's begin. So, first game, we got Hashim with white. Is this all from white's perspective? Yes, it is. If you want Halim, we can switch it to black's perspective. But anyway, let's stay with white for now. So e4, d6, d3. Already a weird way to meet the peers. This is an invitation to the peers, or could be an invitation to a Philidor with knight f6, e5, and bishop e7. So both of these setups are possible, but Halim seems in the game to be wanting to want to play the peers. So we get d3, knight f6, d3 is a bit passive, but okay, it's fine. Now I should state that Hashim plays the King's Indian attack setup against everything. It's a bit how would I say that? I mean, I don't like to play opening systems at this level because it kind of hinders development, I feel. Chess development. Because you just play the same setup against everything, that's not quite good, because if your opponent makes a slight error, there are ways to exploit that. I could give you an example from my own games. Let's do that. So I'll give you an example from my own games so that you understand how problematic this system thinking, I like to call it, is. Okay, so this is a game I played about an hour ago. Coming back up to 2400, just playing a bit during my breaks. So let's see if you can see this. You can see this. Maybe I should make it a bit bigger since we're here. That seems better. Okay, so here I played e4, c5, and we went into the Mora, and this is the push variation of the Mora. Against this, I like to play c4 and go into a Marachi bind. So I went into the setup, and here is the first big error. Not a big error, but you'll get what I mean in just a second. So here, if we go into the normal push variation, usually g6 is played exactly here. Actually, it's prefaced with knight c6 usually. So knight c6, and now I play c4, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, I castle. Now with d6, it's important to play h3 to prevent bishop g4. So we play h3 here, knight f6, going for castling, knight c3, castles, bishop e3. And now my plan is to go here, here, and pull the bishop back. Kind of a very smart waiting move, but also getting this bishop out of the open d file, which could be used by a rook. and yeah, it's a very nice square for the bishop. So this is the setup recommended by Mark Asserman as well in his book, the Mayhem and the Mora, a very good book which you should probably buy if you play the Mora. Almost definitely, it's the best theoretical work currently on the Mora. Okay, so b6, and it's a 2012 book, and it still stands the test of time to this day. I've analyzed a lot of the lines, and there are almost no errors in that book. Cavalry is here, yeah. Okay, so here I'm still playing the same system, and I played c4 here. Instead, I had the advantage here with e5. I could have gotten a really nice edge. Because of takes, I have... is it bishop check or knight takes? Both seem reasonable. Anyway, the point is, it's system thinking to play c4 here. And this is the same here for Hashem. I don't like playing the King's Indian attack. Like, you can play the King's Indian attack, but you don't have to play the King's Indian attack against everything. That's frankly quite lazy. So just my own advice. Hello, Insamo. Nice seeing you here, man. Okay, so we got a Pierce with against the King's Indian attack. So they both fianchetto. C6 is played. And b5 here. Now b5, okay, it gains queen side space, and in principle this is what black should do, because white is going to maybe try to play on the for an attack on the king's side. But against this fianchetto setup, that kind of King's Indian attack is a bit too weak. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's so necessary to play this. And all the same, in this game, black didn't play e5, which is a very crucial move here, just to gain space in the center. Black delayed e5 too much here. I missed some action today. What happened today? And someone says, did you erase the beard? Yeah, man, I shaved. It was getting a bit much. Like it was quite okay. Maybe it wasn't even quite acceptable. I mean, it was quite dark, getting quite dark, and here it was, I guess, okay-ish. But the neck beard was too much. I could shave that only, but yeah, and especially the sideburns, they were becoming too much. The hair is staying though. Oh, of course, joking, of course. The hair is staying for probably a year. So the entire quarantine period. Ah, shucks, and Samu. And Samu says it looks good. Just some bit of action in elite battle. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I saw that a bit an hour ago, and like an hour in, and I didn't really like, I forgot about it. I didn't really see what happened there. So who won and what happened? Yeah, Mark with a bun. Would be nice, would be nice. Yeah, that's the goal. Anyway, let's go back to the game. So c3 here is a very natural move. Again, but this is system thinking. Hashem likes to play the King's Indian attack with c3, but yeah, maybe you could try to play e5 here, or rook e1, d4. I don't know. Still system thinking. Now bishop g4 isn't the most obvious move. This is a point I would like to make as usual. In many openings, like I can show you again another opening, just so you understand what I'm talking about. Fiona and Roshad Europa. Yeah, Fiona's club, they have Astane, they have Samurai Mark. They have quite some strong players, yes. Is it here? Okay, where can I find the opening? Okay, I'll just do it myself. Hold on. So, in these kinds of openings, the Italian, right? And let's say this quiet variation. Knight f6, knight c3. Like many people here have a question, where should they develop the dark square bishop? Now here you should probably develop it to e3. But the point I want to make is that sometimes you can even choose not to develop it. You could play, for example, a3, play rook e1, and go for d4, and just keep it there. Sometimes it's better not to develop a piece rather than put it on a square where it's not optimally placed. Because bishops are long-range pieces, you don't have to develop them usually. Not usually, I mean always. Usually you do. So bishop g4 here isn't necessary. Now, as we see, black plays for this queen d7 setup, trying to trade. Now, if you were going to castle queenside, okay, that makes a bit more sense. But with this pawn structure, you're not castling queenside. It's because there's a hook here, there's a big attack, it's not happening. So, you're going to castle kingside, and as I've said many times, when you have this battery against a fianchetto and you're castled on the same side as that side, it's not as strong because if you do succeed in removing this bishop, what are you doing? You're not really attacking with your pawns anytime soon because your own king is on this side of the board. So the aggressive intentions are much reduced. So you're going to have to play a positional game, and in positional games, not having that bishop isn't that big of a deal. I studied this variation yesterday to d2 with a4. What exactly are we talking about? Halim, what's up, Shemaishi? Yeah, man. It's going. We're going to have some different streams actually today. Now, depending on how much this match analysis is going to take. Okay. Oh, I saw your message, Dr. 1000 IQ. Now I'm going to reply to it. Just give me a second to think. Maybe when we have a puzzle going. Uh, oh, the slow Italian. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, the slow Italian. There's a good book, The Venomous Italian. It's a nice book. It has a nice cover. Okay, so when we have this kind of position, we can talk, Dr. 1000 IQ. What's up? What's up, G-Lad? Vampire's Chicken team is playing soon. We can offer to play against them. What are they playing? Wow, that would be quite fun. I'm a big fan of Jonathan Schrantz. What are they playing? Okay, so anyway, we still haven't finished any part of this game. So he's still going for this setup. Again, it's a bit too system thinking. So we go on. Now here it makes much more sense because there's a target, but okay. Now bishop h5 I found a bit strange. Why not go to e6? Again, seems fine. All of this seems very reasonable, but now knight c5 I find a bit strange. Why are you going into d4? Like white wants to play d4 to gain control of the center and activate his pieces. So what's the point here of going knight c5? Better probably is just to put some rooks in the center. They're having a 10 plus 0 arena, but maybe if I ask them, they will want a match against us after the analysis. Yeah, that sounds awesome, G-Land. That would be great. Okay, knight c5, d4, takes, and the knight goes to b7. Now, I'm not sure if a6 or b7 is the better square. There are arguments for both. But in both cases, you get to see why this knight maneuver here was a bit bad. Now your pieces are lined up against this bishop, and that's not good. So he plays a3, a bit of a randomish move. I would much rather start some operations over here. Maybe queen f4, threatening g4, these kinds of ideas. Okay, but a3 was played, a5, gaining some queenside space, which is quite good. b4 is a bit strange, because you really don't want to give black this open a file. And the black reacts with a strange move as well. I mean, he closes the queen side. That's very strange, because in the opening your plan was to go c6, b5, gaining queenside space and playing on this queen side. And here you're starting to close the queen side for some reason. That's, I don't know, not good. So queen c3, c5. Okay, this is a very nice break. White seemingly went into the spin, which is also very strange. Whoops. So yeah, both sides aren't playing the best, I think. But again, this is 3+0, so they cannot be blamed. Now he goes out of this. Probably here again there's an argument to take and just get this passed pawn going. Now in this specific case there is this move, so the pawn may be rounded up, so probably you have to wait to push that pawn, but still you get a passed pawn out of this. Okay, c4. You do get a passed pawn here as well, but it's a bit more difficult to push around. So c4, queen e3. Again, here it probably makes more sense to go here instead of going into the spin, but fine as well. Maybe you want to go queen f4 now. He goes e5, a bit premature, I think. Again, queen f4 is something I'm quite favoring. e5, takes, 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 takes. Everything is getting traded, and now the rook comes over here. Queen d3 wouldn't be such an amazing move, because we can simply take and just play here, and the pawn will eventually get rounded up. Probably this is even stronger, not sure, but it's not really something we should consider. So rook b8, a bit of a mysterious move, protecting the knight this way. I get he was afraid of maybe this and like knight c6 here maybe, though there is rook takes e5, so I'm not sure. So Shrant said team battle sounds good, but not today. If you want, you can whisper him. Yeah, sure, man. I will talk to him about that. Two teams, a two-team battle. Yeah, that would be quite fun. Yeah, let's do it. But will he accept 3+0 blitz, do you think? He would, but I don't know if he wants as a team to participate in that. So anyway, white gains control over the file here, gets his rook, doubles up. All is looking swell for white. He wins a pawn. Here, of course, black should have tried. Actually, I remember I thought he could have tried to defend, but there is no way to defend that pawn. Maybe then he could have tried to open up the position? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I don't remember my analysis here. But anyway. So, this match happened a few hours ago, so I didn't analyze these games like every move as I usually do. Just took the whole picture, and I can figure most analysis out myself anyway. But this I don't really want to start speaking of my own knockers. Oh yeah, the format we usually do. Yeah, that's a Scheveningen style format. Because the lower boards go up. And yeah, it's I've seen it a lot on Chessbra, so an EU versus an A on Chessbra. But of course they didn't pioneer it. It's Scheveningen who did. Anyway, So rook 98. Actually, I'm not sure if it's Scheveningen who did or it's just named so because there is something I want to do, which is to add like Google search function in the stream, like in one of the scenes of OBS. So you have the camera here, downward you have the move list, over here you have the board, and maybe then here we'll have the Google search, so you can see what I'm searching. And yeah, I like spreading knowledge. This isn't just a chess channel, so that's something I wish to add later. So what were we going to search? Scheveningen, whether he did that. Yeah, okay, I won't do it now. Still haven't found a place. 10 plus 0 Scheveningen team battle. Yeah, that would take 4 years to complete. Yeah, so he took the pawn here and remaneuvered the knight and then lost this. By the way, this, due to black's activity, this could very well be a draw. Now, something very strange here. I don't have the move times in the study, unfortunately. We can access the link if we really want to. But anyway, here it's very strange to just retreat. I get time pressure and you want to keep your pieces safe. But instead, an interesting idea was queen f6 and tending bishop d4 and put pressure here. You're down a pawn here, and if white is able to attack on the light squares, which is what happened in the game, you just lose. So it's very crucial that black creates counterplay here. So bishop g7 is questionable. Anyway, it did happen. Bishop d5, queen check, and rook here, attempting some kind of counterplay on f2. But you're leaving the backyard open over here, so not optimal what black did. Now, what should I mention? This is something I found a lot in these games by Halim. He's giving these checks with the queen or rook, and they're not so clear what they're doing. So be careful of these kinds of checks where you just do a check just because it's a check. Now, I don't want to use this common phrase known to the chess world, but yeah, Patzer sees check, Patzer gives check. So don't fall into that trap. Okay, so bishop takes f7 check, king h8 check, king h8, sorry, now king h8, and queen f7. There is this mate threat, and Halim just gives it to him here. Anything else, of course, is acceptable. I'm not sure what the best move here would be. Obviously, he went bishop d4 to further attack f2 because the queen is defending f2. And really, here there's no way to defend f2, but it allows mate. But here, how should black proceed? You can play rook a2, I figure. No, but then queen takes g6. Oh, maybe rook e6, queen takes e6. Not so easy. No, but yeah, rook a2, if queen takes, you just can't take here. No, you can't take here because this is mate. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. But you can't take here. And now you're the one checkmating. So I think rook a2 is fine. Let's check a bit with the engine. Oh, queen takes a2. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I meant any rook square that doesn't blunder it, like here. Rook b8. Okay, it gives like a +2 advantage. What's the best move? Rook e8. Oh yeah, that's quite obvious. Rook e8 because the bishop's trapped. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but still, if you didn't find this, keeping the rook here is acceptable. Yeah, rook b8 is pretty darn dangerous, but you could try to survive this. Okay, anyway, the point isn't the last part of the game, it's the earlier part. Okay, so here this was a very cute game. So c4, d5. For c4 players, you might face this a lot. This is known as the Angle of Scandinavian. Now the Scandinavian, of course, is e4, d5. And this is the Anglo Scandinavian because it starts from the English opening. So that's where the Anglo part comes from. Now, the problem with this opening is that it's just giving white a free pawn center for no no reasonable reason. You take queen takes, and now you get this queen. Okay, I'll quiz you guys on something, and we'll talk about this. So why would this be bad? Okay, you do get a pawn center, but I mean, is the queen going out here bad as compared to the Scandinavian? Like, what's the deep philosophical concept behind keeping this queen here? That's a quiz question. There's actually a very clever reason why black keeps the queen, why black allows knight c3 here. Why does black allow knight c3 here? What's the reason? c4 d5 is the worst Scandinavian. Yeah, of course. As an English player, Dr. 1000 IQ, or a next English player now turned into a Reti player, you do know how bad d5 is. It's just terrible. Ceding the center and giving away a tempo for the queen. Now the question is, what's the point? Harim got it. Yeah. So the deep philosophical point behind knight c3, queen d8 is that knight c3, okay, it gained the tempo, it developed a piece, but look at the pawns. In the Scandinavian, this is your pawn structure, this Caro-Kann kind of pawn structure, c6 and e6. And if white wants to break down this pawn structure, what should white do? He should play c4, d4, d5 to create... I ruined everything. To create these points of contact with the pawn. But the knight on c3 is blocking c4, so white will have to invest a tempo to get this knight out. So that's the deep philosophical concept behind the Scandinavian. You lose the queen, you lose the tempo with the queen, but at the same time, for white to be able to exploit the c6, e6 pawn structure, he also has to lose a tempo by playing, by moving away this knight from c3. So yeah, that's why the Scandinavian is playable, because you waste the tempo with the queen, but for a specific purpose, and you don't give black this white the center. White here has black has one pawn in the center, white has one pawn, but here white has two pawns in the center, black has one, and knight c3, you're not going to play the c6 e6 pawn structure. It doesn't make any sense. And even if it did, like, there's no c pawn, so d4, so e4, d4, d5 simply breaks down this pawn structure as compared to that other pawn structure. So yeah, completely senseless. Now he plays queen h5. This is like a blitz kind of attack, like, oh yeah, I'm going to mate you over here with these kinds of ideas, but it doesn't really work. So knight f3, knight f6, and now a very strange move, d3. Here, oops. This is a bit passive. Like, black gave you all of this play. You should either play e4 or d4, one of those. Probably d4. Yeah. Now here black can play e5 and start getting, not counterplay, but start getting some ideas. Like space at least, control of the center. So g6. g6 is a bit strange. You're already behind in development. Why are you going to play bishop g7? So yeah, e5 makes much more sense, and develop the bishop to e7 or d6 for aggressive intentions. Like here, probably bishop d6 and try to go for this, and then you really maybe have a claim to have an attack. Okay, so g6, e3, again a bit too passive. Maybe here you already could have played e4, but e4 does give up the square, so I don't blame you. Bishop e2, and now there's no reason to trade these pieces. You're already up in development. Why are you helping black reduce the piece pressure? Here you probably should castle, because now this attack on the king side is not really happening. Or play h3 and then castle and ask this bishop where it's going. So knight d4 is not optimal. And here taking with the queen, your advantage is that you have the center and the lead in development. You don't have the center anymore, and now you don't have the lead in development. It's not going to matter with the queens off the board. So kind of here black is completely fine. You do take with the king, which is quite nice, but yeah, this endgame doesn't really offer white much. Maybe some chances. Okay, f3 I found again strange. Probably best is to play this and go for like knight c5 or knight a5. Sorry, knight a5 here or knight b5. Knight b5. Maybe consider bishop d2, rook c1. f3, okay, you're stopping knight g4, but is that really a threat? I don't think so. And you're critically weakening e3 later on. So f3 did happen, and now e4 going for the pawn structure, but allowing a tactic, which Hachem does find. Simply winning a pawn. And now this rook comes here, okay, trying to win back to win a piece, but doesn't work because of e5. Now here there's perhaps an argument to play bishop e3. If takes, you could consider taking, and if bishop b6, knight d5, trying to win back a pawn. And if takes over here, you can again consider this and taking here, here, just here. So that was a possibility. You played knight d5 instead. Should be acceptable as well. Just gave him too many tempos though. And now this happened. Here there's a cute tactic, by the way, if you guys want to try and find it. I'll give like 30 seconds if anyone wants to find it. Yeah, too simple for you, Dr. 1000 like you. It's knight takes e5. And this bishop is, this knight is hanging, it's pinned, in fact. So yeah, can't take because of takes. Okay, so that was one way. There is bishop takes b2 here, but just take. Sorry, so let me be more clear here. You take. Actually, wait, let's try to figure this out. No, not this. That was a mouse slip. No, David, never too late, man. Never too late. We're analyzing games and doing some puzzles. It's an interactive lesson. Oh, I didn't delete this. Okay. Yeah, so here, David, we were saying that there's a tactic here instead of what Halim played. There's knight takes e5. Bishop takes e5, and here bishop takes b6. Now we were considering bishop takes b2. What's the best way to proceed from here? You want to see first move bishop takes b2. Yeah, that's also possible. I'm wondering if this works. No, because there's this. The point here being that, let's say the rook moves. Let's suppose this is what happens. We take. But here even he can win back here, so it's all not working. But of course it's not rook db1 here. Let's see if there's any other move than taking. Maybe this. No, don't. Then the bishop is hanging. The knight is hanging again. Not so easy, huh? Okay, so let's try to figure this out all together. Wow, it's already been 35 minutes and we're still on the second game. Yeah, these take a while. So... Wow, Dr. 1000 IQ. Yeah, Dr. 1000 IQ played a really nice queen sacrifice, and he's saying it has never been played. Can I consider it my positional trap? Of course you can. You've checked the master games, right? Maybe try to check the lead chess games if it has been played before. So what's the solution here? What is the solution here? Interesting. Why are we overthinking this? This is just winning for white. 2 minor pieces against 1 pawn. Yeah, why are we so overthinking this? Right, guys? Yeah, so that's the answer. I'm pretty sure. Maybe we check with the engine one time. Yeah, it's bishop takes b6. Anyway, so this happened. Trade, and Hashem just gave him a knight. Very funny game. Okay, so take home message from this game. Don't ever play this Anglo Scandinavian. It might have a name, but it's a pretty darn bad opening. And as white, if you do face this, try to keep your advantage by just using your lead in development, not trading pieces, controlling the center, blah blah blah. Okay, game 3. So e4, c5. Again, Hashem playing this King's Indian attack setup. Dr. 1000 IQ is saying rook takes d8. Yeah, but this is... What is this endgame? Just advantageous for black. Why not c4 in the Scandinavian? Oh, we talked about this. Wait, what? Do you mean c4 in the Scandinavian? No, I'm saying Anglo-Scandinavian. This is the Anglo-Scandinavian. You shouldn't play this as black, because we've talked about this. Were you not here, Halim? We spent like 5 minutes talking about it, why the difference. And you answered the Scandinavian, why it's good with c4. Anyway, so d5, this is one way to meet the King's Indian attack, just break it at its roots. That's why many people here simply play knight f3 or immediately this, transposing to the King's Indian attack. In the normal Scandi, why don't they play c4? They do. They want to do that. They don't play it because the knight is on c3, but they try to move the knight out of c3 and they try to do that. Okay, so d5, knight d2. Still, yeah, he could try to go for this line, but he doesn't. He wants to retain this kind of system. And yeah, he takes over here, and this is still the kind of system. Now bishop d7 is very strange, of course. Just develop here and castle. Why would you want to put this bishop on d7? Doesn't make a lot of sense. This is actually called the half development move, and it's a bit worse than that, actually. Oh, before 93. Okay, we're going to talk about that then. It's a bit worse than that because you kind of deny the knight from going here. So after e5, it's kind of struggling to find squares. Maybe it goes to g4, but if h3 is played, that's not so good. That's not possible. So yeah, bishop d7. It's called the half development move because, okay, you're developing it, but is it really so much better than on c8? Again, this is something we're talking about here. You don't have to develop your bishop. So bishop d7, castles, bishop e7, rook e1, all very natural moves. Queen e2, yeah, just getting out of the way, preparing some knight c4 ideas, c3 and all that stuff. He does go in the center, it's taken, and now knight f3. Yeah, all seems very reasonable. e5, just gaining the space in the center. That's the reason you play this King's Indian attack. Now here there's maybe an interesting idea with this. Trying to go here where you attack the bishop, you go to d6, you go to f6. But that is not played. Instead rook d1, just trying to perhaps line up with the queen and this bishop maybe. Queen b6. a3, I don't know about a3 really. You do prevent knight b4, but was that really a threat? Probably here you could try to go for this maneuver again, or here. The queen is always protecting c2, so that's not really a threat with knight b4. So a3, a5, rook b1. Yeah, allowing this tactic. But here you do get a lot of compensation for it. And bishop b6, c4, queen b3. Just trying to get the queen out. Knight c4 attacking the queen. Queen c2. Now here I would have taken this opportunity and tried to just run away with my queen eventually. Playing bishop c6, trying to trade. Then playing queen c6. Why can't I draw this arrow? And queen c6. Okay, but he goes to c2, still in white's camp. And yeah, this. Okay, here. 19, bishop h6 seems interesting. Yeah, I see your point. Bishop h6, and if the queen goes, do you want to sacrifice immediately? Like play something like this. Try to go here. Seems possible. I guess maybe there's this now. Then you get a draw out of this. Yeah. Maybe bishop h6 you shouldn't even take. After retreating, queen. Maybe you shouldn't take here. I don't know. What does the engine say? It says bishop d8 immediately. Yeah, that makes more sense. Taking is probably just a draw. Yeah, taking is just a draw. Oh, my analysis is quite accurate. Okay. So anyway, a puzzle for you guys. What should have been played instead of knight c3? These puzzles are reasonably straightforward for now. No one got it yet? Nope. Doesn't seem like it. Quite surprising. Come on, guys. I expect you. Yeah. Bishop c2. And the queen is gonzo. Yeah, you missed that, Halim. Did you see it during the game? Were you worried he would play it? So he played knight c3 instead, giving the b3 escape square. And now he gave up the knight. So now black is up, what here? He's up an entire rook. So it's all about the conversion here. Just try to convert as best as you can. So here he played rook d1, kind of insinuating some things again maybe. He took, and queen d3, falling right into it here. Probably just try to go for queen c3, I think is fine. Yeah. And here queen c3 again. Why not? Instead here you decided to give up the queen for whatever reason. Now it's two rooks against the queen that should be winning, but what's better? To play this. And if, let's say here, we just take. If you're afraid of this, that's not a problem at all. You're simply up a minor piece here. And it's a pretty darn good minor piece. So what's better, having two rooks against the queen, or a minor piece? Of course, the minor piece. So queen c3 should have been played here. Instead rook fd8. And now it's just probably equal, because, yeah, as white is showing, there's a pretty nice attack over here. And instead black collapsed here playing f6. There was one way to draw here still. Yeah, time pressure. I don't blame you, man. But still. So here, what should black do? I expect you guys to find this, of course, quite quickly. Yeah, you got it. It's rook d1, takes, king here, check, and the drawing mechanism forever. So yeah, that was the last chance. Instead of 6, and it's game over. So yeah, here actually after f6 it's not so clear that it's game over, but it does seem so, you know. So I would have taken almost all of my time to try to find something here, and if not, just go f6. Yeah, but playing f6 quickly is okay. Okay, fourth game. So e4, e5, the King's Gambit by Mr. Halim. And he chooses this d4 line, and Hashem goes d5. d5 is an acceptable line here, but probably the best is just this check. You do play king e2, but after d5 trying to open up the center against this king, this line is not really favorable. So yeah, okay, let me continue. So d5 takes f4. Takes f4 is fine. You could consider e5 or e takes d5. All are possible. Takes f4. Yeah, here is where it gets a bit strange. Bishop g5 and going here. I mean, if you against bishop d6, I get you don't want to trade, but I feel something like knight e2 maybe. Okay, fine. Bishop g5 is fine. Castles over here. Now the problem with castles is it falls for this tactic, bishop g4. Now Halim decides instead of losing the exchange to lose a knight, which is probably smarter because you get faster development and these rooks get connected and you don't really drop d4. So knight f3 is a good reaction, but he shouldn't have castled here. Here probably d5 I guess is the way to proceed. Okay, so castles. And yeah, taking here, trying to ruin the pawn structure, making use of the fact that this king is pinned, so bishop takes f6 is not possible. Also a reasonable try. I mean, you do trade pieces and lose the dark squared bishop, but if black is able to castle here, then your bishop being here isn't so good either. So, yeah, not bishop h4. So, this is fine as well. And now knight b5, and just really trying to gain space over here. Now here perhaps d6 was an option. Takes. Of course, if queen takes, there's this. This was maybe an idea. Another idea might be just knight d4, trying to ask this bishop some questions. For example, f4 might be a threat, whereupon you would take everything, and then finally take f5. So still not so easy for black to convert this extra piece. It's a king's gambit. There are wild complications. Morphy would have probably won this. So a takes b5, takes here, and now he simply gets out of the way and castles. A reasonable try. Takes, still black is completely winning, but now he drops a piece. He plays b6, trying to stop queen a7, but that's really not a problem because actually I was thinking there's always b6, but then there's bishop d5, so yeah, then you play this, and now if queen a7, b6, and this should be alright. Bishop d5 is no longer possible. Instead he loses a piece, and now this is more than equal. This is slightly better for white. He plays a bit here, and everything collapses very quickly. Black should have tried to keep everything solid by playing this, I guess. Still, there are ideas such as this. Actually, no, then there's check. And if you go up, just queen takes, so not really. So, yeah. He should have probably played rook d8, but instead he started doing some questionable things, giving up pawns left, right, and center, allowing this rook check. And now a really nice move by Halim, bishop a8, threatening queen b7. And this check over here doesn't work. This check over here doesn't work because the rook just goes back, as we saw in the game. So bishop check, and the rook just goes back. And Checkmatos. So nice game by Halim. Nice effort to come back from that. So Halim is a bit like Morphy. He won in the King's Gambit when he should be when he should have lost. Okay, this game. e4, c5, d3. Now Halim going for e5, just trying to gain a lot of space. Again, a reasonable setup. We tried many setups against this King's Indian attack. This is one I quite like. b5 here is very funny. Of course, knight f6 or knight c6 are the most natural moves. b5 here is very funny. Probably c3 and then playing a4 is what should have been tried. But again, Hashim is stuck in this system setup. He plays fianchettoing first, then c3. But probably here c3 already to exploit this with a4 should have been tried. Yeah, c3 was probably a better try. So this happened, the normal setup. And bishop e6. Again, I don't want to develop this bishop, just develop the knight first. There's this rule in chess, develop knights before bishops, because bishops are long-range pieces and they have more possibilities. So yeah, just do that. So bishop e6, rook e1. Again, the setup we spoke about in the first game, not really necessary unless you're castling queenside. And now he plays d4, takes over here, and yeah, bishop takes f3 is a very questionable decision. This reminds one of what decision? This one by Morphy. We're talking a lot about Morphy today. If you guys... yeah, this one. The Opera House game. Everyone knows the Opera House game. And now taking, and he took here, and queen takes. And then this. Yeah, so this is not so good here. And in the same vein, taking here isn't so good. For different reasons here though, of course. But it reminded me of that. Here because you simply lose a pawn and now this bishop is really having fun. So I don't think there is much to comment about in this game. White is simply up the pawn and has the bishop pair and an amazingly strong bishop at that. So he's completely winning. Let's see how Hashim messes this up though. Yeah, I think, yeah, he dropped a piece. Yeah, he dropped a piece simply. Simply play h3 here and then go back to e3. Yeah, the new novelty, bishop b5, right, in the opening. This is quite an interesting idea. Yeah, here he simply dropped a piece. But now let's see how Halim goes on to mess this up. Hashim really plays well here, trying to get the rook on the 7th, trying to go for these ideas eventually. Or bishop d5. And bishop e7, stopping this rook from making use of these central squares. Maybe bishop b6, there's b7, rook b7 picking up b5. I don't really know. Yeah, probably this would be bad here. So don't be that comfortable. Maybe just here. Knight takes, rook takes. Yeah, quite interesting. Maybe bishop b6 was possible. Hyper accelerated Botvinnik system. Wow, that's really wow. Dr. 1000 IQ, there's the improved Banco Benoni by Khalil, and now there's the hyper accelerated Botvinnik system by Halim. What was it by Khalil? It was the improved Benoni Banco. What was it? I think that commentary showcased in the Juggernauts versus the Legion, was it? Or was it another team war? Maybe Infernal Flame, that team war? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, so here the more pawns are being traded, the stronger this position for white, because more pawn trades mean the draw is getting closer, while more piece trades mean the draw While yeah, reducing piece trades means the draw is getting farther away. Because when you trade pawns, like let's say you have 5 versus 3 pawns, these are 5 potential queens. But when they're 1 versus 0, it's like 1 potential queen. And if that pawn is picked up by a piece, then it's a draw. So let's say you have rook bishop against rook, and there are 3 pawns versus 2. Then the side with the 3 pawns, like okay, you have rook, bishop, and 3 pawns against rook and 2 pawns. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yes. And if you trade all of these pawns, you're left with like 1 pawn and a rook and a bishop against my god, I can't make this point clear. Okay, bear with me, guys. You have a rook, a bishop, and 2 pawns, and your opponent has a rook and 3 pawns, and you give up. Okay, my point is that you can sacrifice a piece for the last pawn and remain with a rook against a bishop, for example, and the side with the bishop can draw that. But if there are 3 pawns, if you sacrifice for 1 pawn, there are still 2 other pawns that could make a queen. That's my point. Okay, let's stop giving hypothetical examples because I'm confusing myself at this hour. Oh, Benoni Budapest, right? Yeah, the Schalker bow one, Benoni Budapest, the accelerated Benoni Budapest. Okay, here is the final mistake by Halim. Now already allowing this rook to come to c8 is questionable, but here is where he makes a mistake. Here, what should he have done? Question for the audience. Is it? Wait, hold on. Check. Yeah, here he should have played something. What was it? Yeah, Halim, kind of. Would bishop h3 win a pawn? Sorry, David, I missed that comment. When was that? Can you give me the move number? Knight d7, maybe. But it's kind of leading to the same thing, knight d7, no? The point here is to go king d7 and allow this to happen. Because now you're blocking this bishop and you can take b7. So he has to trade. And now this should be a draw. The thing is, you had to accept that you were no longer winning here and had to go for the draw. Instead, when this comes, the bishop is open now. So, as the king will just march over here and this is game over. Let's see how Hashem did this. Yeah, at the moment you come here, Hashem should have played something which is this, to stop your king from coming here. And now if you go here, for example, he can still toggle with the king because you never can take. And you never can return here as well. But he didn't do that. Yeah. And instead this is now back to drawn. And maybe even now better for black. Actually here it becomes winning all of a sudden. Yeah, but just a flag over here. Yep. And the flag. Draw. Before a3 was pushed by white. Okay, was it that long ago? Ah, bishop h3 here. That's a nice tactic, David. Good job, man. That's a nice tactic. Sorry. Check. Yeah, it does seem to win a pawn, right? That's a nice tactic. Where? I can move my bishop where? Yeah, so I think king d7 it's here, right? Oh, you can immediately take, right. King d7. Yeah, king d7 leads to the same thing, but why be so fancy? Right. That's a good point. Yeah, you should already here accept that you ruined your advantage. King d7 is too fancy by me. Okay. So, okay, let's... So let's, after knight d7, so let's take a look at what Halim is saying before we move on. You can move your bishop. Yeah, but how long will this last? Not really. Yeah, that's not the point. This should be losing even for black. Let's see the engine. Oh, it gives it as a draw as well. Ah, okay. Okay, then you have a point. Yeah, knight d7 without taking seems to be a draw as well. Yeah, okay, that's an idea I didn't consider. Yeah, but also, knight d7 and king d7 aren't really necessary. Just take the pawn over here. Yeah, bishop a7, yes. Okay. Okay, so done with that game. So yeah, this game, that game, b5 is a funny idea, but yeah, here just a lot of questionable decisions by black. And then the conversion here was not optimal. Gave up too many pawns and was too passive and allowed all of this. I don't blame you on blitz, of course. So, game 6. Knight f3. Reti fans, Dr. 1000 IQ, where are you? So, knight f3. d5. Standard c4. Okay, now this is basically a transposition to the syllabus with e4 and this kind of setup. Now here, yeah, here there are white plays optimally, reasonably. This is all fine. Bishop c4 is quite good as well. First quiz question of the day. What happens after this? To the worst opening. Yeah, this love. This game was all blunders, yes. So what should white play here? No, no, that's not correct. This game was all blunders, no need for analysis. Don't ever go for that attitude, man. Don't ever have that attitude. You can learn a lot from blunders. You learn how to not make them ever again. What factors led to you making those blunders? That's what you want to see. Let us see some chess beauty. These king setups are annoying me. These kings? Why? Oh! Okay, Halim. Yeah, so it's this. A common tacticos. You win the pawn back, and the king can't castle, and Swiss cheese. What is this knight f3? So g6 and castles. Again, quiz question to you guys. What do we play here? Actually, okay, I'd rather ask it from this position. What do we play here? King's Indian play. Yeah. Yeah, Hashem is addicted to these King's Indian attack setups. So what do we play? If you'll excuse my yawning. Anyone? Yeah, that's right, Dr. 1000 IQ. No one? Knight c5. Knight c5 is quite good, but there's better. Knight c5 is a move that Halim was never playing. Yeah, that's right. Oh, really, Halim? You got him in the random pool? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Dr. 1000 IQ got it. Again, this bishop takes f7 check. And here, of course, f6. King f6 we don't have to consider, right, guys? Just d5 check. And here, bada boom. And here, bada boom. And bada boom. Actually, here, if, for example, let's say queen c8. No, not queen c8. Oops. Like queen d6, you could consider playing knight c5 if you want to. Anyway, that did not occur. And here was another shot missed. Now bishop takes f7 check maybe even works, but here there is e6. When you have a pawn on e5 and a knight on d7, and this pawn formation, this is something that happens a lot in the Pirts and happens here as well in this kind of Pirts-ish setup. Just e6 and it's GG. So yeah, again, this kind of thing we've talked about a million times. When you're castled here, don't go for this idea. It's too slow and doesn't achieve much. So here you took the bishop, but there's really no attack. Probably queen f4 is an even better start to an attack. But queen g5, okay. Takes, queen g3. And yeah, slowly, this exchange sacrifice was not at all necessary. And yeah, the pawn promotes and game over. Game over. So yeah, here you're down a pawn, but you were able to quite get a nice attack going. So here you really need to spend time to punish black, because black didn't develop anything. He's spending time on g6. Like here, instead of playing something like e6, he's spending time on g6. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. He must be punished for this. So you need to spend more time trying to punish him over here. So now for the Karo-Kan. Again d3. Nothing new over here. Bishop g4. And now knight e5. Yeah, here. Wait, I'm trying to remember a specific point from this game. This is all very natural. Here. Try to find something for black here, guys. Something better than knight b d7. Yeah, there's something better than knight b d7, and these kinds of things have been happening all over for this match. All over the shop, very frequently for this match. So what here? Queen a5. Okay. Queen a5. I get it, trying to pin here, but if c3, how do we follow up? You want to play maybe queen h5? Keep misclicking. Queen h5. There's something better here. It's a tactic. It's a tactic that Hachem and Halim were missing a lot in this match, actually. It's a type of tactic that really occurred quite frequently. It occurred in the, what was it, third game, I think, or second game? Maybe I can take a look at that. Yeah, the second game. This type of tactic. Second game, if you guys remember, the Angle of Scandinavian one. It has something to do with the alignment over here. Dr. 1000 IQ, where are you at? You can probably solve this tactic in 10 seconds. No? I guess Dr. 1000 IQ isn't here. Halim, David, anyone, any ideas? It has to do with the alignment and the e4 square. Yes. Good job, David. Good job with the full line over there. Good job, David. And Dr. 1000 IQ, of course, you found that. But David gave me the full line. So yeah, that's the point. So knight takes e4 simply wins a pawn here. Instead, knight b d7 was played. Yeah, with Hachem here, you have to punish him in the opening, because if he escapes the opening, he's going to play a lot of very safe and normal moves, and he's going to get quite a comfortable position and just put some clock pressure and win on time, or make you blunder under time pressure. So that you should have like made better use of that match strategy, Halim. But anyway, okay, this is fine. So this gives up the d3 square, and this is something you always have to consider in these openings. Now here, for example, he gave you the opportunity. Here, probably better was playing this to deny that opportunity. But it did occur, and you didn't make use of it. Here you could probably even go back and just ask him questions, whether he wants to repeat or not. But yeah. I think potentially interesting was knight c5, but probably then knight d7, so maybe not. Keep doing this. And yeah, here you get this... yeah, f5 was a bit much here. f5 was a bit much, weakening e6 so much. c4 and really exploiting all of that. And yeah, here you obviously should take with the rook, because of king here. There's my bad. And there's check, and here what do you play? Oh, okay, continuing our discussion, Dr. 1000 IQ. Yeah, definitely it does. Definitely it does. Solving endgame compositions helps you with normal tactics because it strengthens calculation. But I think you'll derive the most benefit from this book in classical chess. And blitz in blitz chess you might not notice the immediate effects, but calculation wise in classical that will definitely help with the visualization and all of that and creativity. Yeah. Okay, so here what should black do? Yeah, because the knight is threatened and the rook is threatened. Queen b6, does that work? Not really. Queen b6, there's just c5. Let's see the engine, what does it have to say? Knight f6. Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking here, and like let's say here, there's takes and this check. So this alignment issue. So we're able to exploit this after king g1 by playing knight f6. Alright, yeah. Fine tactical point, yeah. Okay, so knight takes f2 instead, allows rook d7, and now g7 is GG. Here I would have expected rook d7, but of course queen h7 is fine. And game over. Okay, game 8. Another short affair. This one was actually pretty nice by Halim. He plays this variation. By the way, here he goes back immediately. This is not a Scandinavian. You should just go here, protect the pawn, and go for knight c3, and maybe even long castles ideas. If you want to play this center game setup. Queen d1 is just too passive. This isn't the Scandinavian where you just retreat your queen. Okay, all of this is normal. Castles, and actually white played almost a perfect game here. Very fine positional squeeze here with knight c3, controlling all of these nice squares. c6 trying to gain control here, but he just goes here, and white is first on the file. Now taking here is rather strange as well. You should try to develop, but the thing is you probably have to play here because the bishop really lacks good squares thanks to this knight. Like bishop g4, there's simply knight takes g4. So yeah, that's pretty nicely played by white, and here he allows the check. He really had to lash out here because he wanted to play bishop b7, but that's too little too late now. With all of this, we're gaining a pawn. And I think here he had bishop g8 check with some funsies over here, but it didn't happen. And no, I didn't, Dr. 1000 IQ. Has it been something crazy? Yeah, very nicely played by Halim over here. So Hashem's mistake was... Yeah, actually I didn't really talk about Hashem's mistake. It was knight e5, for example. He probably should have simply played bishop g4 maybe. Though that also has its fair share of issues, but probably better. And bishop e3 here, maybe he could have tried bishop d6. So. He was far too cooperative here, and b5 is the final error here. Probably he should play g6 maybe. Just somehow, maybe even have to do with bishop e6, just not allow that. Bishop g8 check wins the knight. Here, right? King g6. Why? This, there's bishop b7. Ah, check. You have a very sharp eye, David Fassbinder. Nice. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah, you can simply win the knight. Okay, game 9. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. But then why wouldn't the GM have his own channel? Yeah, David has been very impressive in today's stream, right, Halim? Okay, so game 9. Another one of these. Yeah, this time this Botvinnik setup, but no b5 this time. I'm not going to spend much time on the opening. Again, this is not something I like. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Yeah, trading here. And Hashem does a really nice idea here with b4, just trying to chip away at this and gaining queenside space, so this was quite excellently played. Yeah. Okay, let's take a deeper look now. f5. Here you could even consider queen takes. There is knight takes f2, but just a consideration. Yeah, and here there's a better move than bishop e3. Try to find it. You mean you don't like this Botvinnik for black? Yeah, it's not the best for black. It's not the best actually. King g2, there's rook takes d3. There's something even better than king g2. which is probably not so good. Any ideas? Something better than bishop e3. What could it be? Something that maybe defends d3 and h3. g5, no, that's really not helping. g5, he moves, and you have to contend with rook takes d3. Rook takes d3, rook takes c4. No, it's not rook d3, Dr. 1000 IQ. Rook d3, rook b3 allows this. It's a cute idea. Like it has to do with the piece mobility concept. So piece mobility shows you how many squares a piece can go to, and if the number is low, you start thinking of a trap. So here, this guy, how many squares can it go to? 1, 2, only 2. So we do this, and now it's only 1 square. This is the only 1 square, and GG, yo. Good job. Dr. 1000 IQ found it. He typed it just a second after I showed it, so he definitely found it before I said it. Yeah, good job. Exactly. So piece mobility. Instead here, rook h4, and the rook is really escaping. Yeah, and thankfully black has 95. It's escaping barely here, but it is escaping. Let's see what happened in the game. Halim played pretty well. Why was this a draw? I forgot. Yeah, there was a perpetual. Yeah, here there are some interesting tactics that did occur. So yeah, he gave up. I'm sorry, guys. So here he messed up and gave up this bishop. He thought b6 was protecting this bishop. It was also attacking this one. Yeah, so actually let's take a look at the tactics earlier here. Yeah. Find the tactic here. Quite easy. Wow, you guys aren't screaming it in the chat yet. Who's screaming at their computer screen? Raise your hand. The same h4 square, yeah. h4 is checkmate. Yep, checkmate ends the game. Unfortunately, instead of going here, the bishop went here. So kind of balancing, wow, balancing on the edges of Janus. Yeah, I am losing my voice. And I want to make another stream today, so yeah, let's move on to the other game. No, though there is also another tactic I want to show you. Was it here? No, here it was no longer available. Yeah, here better than going here, there is this. and the king is trapped, and this becomes an unstoppable mate threat. In fact, I think this is mate in 3 or something. Yeah, game 10. What about you're going to see? It's something I've never done before. Yeah, today, David. I don't know. I'm just feeling like streaming really frequently. No, no, no. What am I saying? I don't feel like. Of course, I do want to stream frequently, but I mean, I'm feeling like streaming right now, and streaming a lot. Right now, I mean, today. So Halim here goes for the Nakamura setup with b3. Here knight d2, and probably before bishop e2 you should play c4. But okay, playing bishop e2 is fine. And now instead of taking, why relieve the tension? Just play c4, keep the tension there. Fortnite stream. Actually, I want to get into gaming, but the game I chose was Dota, not Fortnite. Defense of the Ancients. But that's a bit of a long ways off. I'm not going to start Dota for a while. Dota. So, kind of taking a look briefly at this game. Points of improvement. Now, knight b4 is a bit of a waste of time by Hachem. Why would you want to forcibly get the queen to c3? But okay. And now, for some reason the queen goes back to c2. Alright. You could start playing for tactics over here, for example with rook c1, and trying to go for these ideas. Maybe they don't work, but just an idea. I think they do work here though. No, maybe this. Okay, this long line, wrong line. Don't take notice of this line. Just an idea I was having now. Anyway, taking is very nice. You do get rid of the strong dark suited bishop, but in turn you completely ruin white's black's king side. So quite good. And here is where it gets questionable. Here instead, taking like this and playing knight g5 for a mate threat and possibly these ideas. So this was a much better move. Instead, the wrong knight is taken with, but still the knight is on c4. Queen c3 doesn't make a lot of sense. Actually, here you should play this to prevent these ideas, which is what happened in the game. Queen g7 happened, and g3 was played. g3, opening up for the bishop, is absolutely insane. Bishop f1 is probably the only move. Hello, TTN729. No, these are not my own games. I am neither of these players. These are the games of two quite strong chess players, 2000 rated. They played a chess war against each other, and we're taking a look at their games. Truth Doctor is not 2000, come on. Dr. 1000 IQ replying to TTN. But 2000, like, you guys have no idea. Let me just reply to this comment by Dr. 1000 IQ. If you ever decide to play Fortnite one day, I'll carry you. Thank you, Dr. 1000 IQ. Yeah, it's within the realm of possibilities, I mean. But shooter games are not really my thing anyway, but like for fun a bit, why not? Yeah, so when you think about it, like casual coffee house players, not coffee house players who play coffee house chess, I mean people you find in the coffee house playing chess. Yeah, 4 here happened, just game over. There's a fun tactic here, okay. There's a fun tactic for white here, okay. I'll continue speaking while you guys try to find it. So these players are like rated 600 or 700, and when you're sitting at that coffee place, for example, and you see two people playing chess, your attention uh, gets grasped, and you go over to their table and you're like, whoa, you're playing chess, and you're there thinking for like a minute, and they start coming up with nice ideas, finding and taking pieces and whatnot. And these guys are probably rated 700 if they were to play online. So how can you ever imagine what it means like to be 1600? 1600 already, like if you go to any casual chess tournament, chess, like people who don't play chess every day, or haven't, like not just don't play chess every day, I mean they don't have thousands of hours of having played chess, you're going to absolutely destroy them as a 1600. What about 2000? 2000? Huh. That's that's a milestone that people wish their entire lives to reach. And then you have 2400 and 2800s and friggin' Magnus Carlsen. It's absolutely amazing how deep this rabbit hole goes. It took me 2 years and a half to reach 2150 top that, Halim says. Yeah, Halim is one of the fastest adult improvers, I think, on the planet. And I've said so much in one of my videos, actually. Nice speech. Thank you, David. So no one has found the tactic here. Okay, I'll tell you guys it. It's e4. Takes, takes, takes. Chess. Nice chess over here. Yeah, and if this, barababing, and the only other square to protect the rook is this, and here check. Right? Or am I forgetting this? Yeah, and you at least have a draw here. Probably more. No, just a draw, probably. Okay, Dr. 1000 IQ. So yeah, summary of this game. Yeah, Halim just had to make use of these little chances he got. And there was a very funny draw at the end there, or a way to get a draw. So Dr. 1000 IQ is saying he once saw two people playing chess at a coffee pot, and when some of them put the pawn on the 8th rank, he was like, "What happens next?" he asked his friend. And the opposing player said, "Nothing happens." And the game continued. Yeah, that's friggin' funny. It wasn't on stream, Hanim. I've written this in the description to one of my YouTube videos. Where did I write it? Ah, yeah, it's the video that will be released today. On YouTube, I'm releasing videos every day on at 5 a.m. UTC time. So it will be in that video. So again, queen d3 here. This is something I'm not going to repeat. Just want to finish up with these games to do the other stream. So very funny setup here, like a scholar's mate. Trying to go for a scholar's mate over here. And at all times knight d5 should be played because the king is not castled, forcing queen d8 back. But like queen f6, knight d5. That's how your thinking should go. But here that did not occur. Instead bishop e3, taking, and now again here there was the option of playing knight d5, but not played. Have you ever seen two players playing with only kings on the board and trying to checkmate each other? Yeah, you've told me that story, Halim. TTN729, would you recommend play lots of games during quarantine to get better? What's the YouTube channel? My YouTube channel is Truth Doctor. It's Truth Doc, actually. DOC. Doc for Doctor. And would I recommend playing a lot of games? Not really. Playing isn't so important. There's a friggin' mosquito on my screen. Playing isn't like studying is 70%, playing is 30%. So try to study some chess. What rating range are you, Titian? I can give you more specific advice according to your rating. Yeah, well, I thought we were done with this game. Yeah, we're not. So yeah, probably 95. Yeah, this game was very simple actually. What happened? It was all about this pawn. Black, the only advantage, no, not the only advantage, but okay, white's pawns are doubled over here. So that's one disadvantage, but it could be seen as maybe an advantage because e4 is really well supported. But black's really big advantage is having this open, semi-open a file for his rooks. So a3 or something, that's kind of necessary. Let's go back. So what white did here is the classic way to lose these positions. Played b4 and just took. And here he could have considered c takes to create some open files for the rooks. But instead he allowed this. And now this is coming and you have to defend the pawn passively. Not good. You do succeed in defending it, but now the king could become active and it's a problem. Now, surprisingly, Hashim here just didn't even care about this king, and this king became quite active. And even here, he supported this king going in, so yeah, he played pretty badly with the pawns over there. And here, actually, it's probably a draw. One way to draw would be to just bring the rook here. And since the king is confined to these two squares, you can basically keep checking. And if the king ever moves, you can start taking the pawns. And here you just jettison this a pawn, divert black's attention, and go for a kingside attack. Yeah, but that didn't happen, and instead Halim here lost very slowly. Actually, here I think it was probably still a draw. Yeah, up until this point, a tactic here was missed. Rook takes c5. But time pressure. Oh yeah. Then yeah, here Hashim messed up with by pushing the pawn, and yeah, Halim actually won this due to this tactic. And thanks to the pawn here, the king can't go to b3. Right. Yeah, you won, Halim, but black was definitely better here. But this is blitz. Blunders do happen. Study by watching my videos? I don't know. That's up to you, man. I do have some nice resources over there, but for 2000 rated players, yeah, but there's a lot of content for you over on my channel. Yeah, I can show you. I can show you. I can show that at the end of the stream, Halim. Solving tactics is quite important, but at 2000, man, you need to study lots of opening theory. If your 2000 blitz reaches, opening theory will do you good. Lots of opening theory and update your endgame knowledge, your practical endgame knowledge. For that, I recommend Cherechevsky's endgames. Oh, Gila, that's a very huge milestone. And bullet, okay, but still, first 2000. Wow, I was looking at your ratings. You were only 1900 just a few days ago. So finally that 2000. That's quite nice. Yeah, tactics is very important, of course, but opening theory and games, there's a lot. 1750 chess.com. Wow, such a discrepancy. Wow. Okay. 1750 chess.com, maybe you can focus on tactics more. But at that level, you're pretty darn good at chess, so no. Okay, so this Italian here, and Haim was quick to take here. There's always this possibility, but okay. And castles. This was a, yeah, I remember this game. This was a whitewash, basically. Here, probably just go back to e6. Try to get your own f file. Here, taking f3 is very poor positional decision because now this bishop is just going to be murderous. Actually, black here, just from the opening, bishop takes e3 and bishop g4 and bishop takes f3 after playing bishop h5. These moves combined just led to a completely lost position, actually. He tries these maneuvers, but white is just having a real nice attack. And Hashem played extremely well, actually. Queen g5, yeah. Trying to go for these ideas. Taking wasn't really necessary, you can just retreat. Why give him the open a file? But okay, still completely fine, as black can't immediately use it. Yeah, not really commenting much. Okay, here there's no need to go for that sacrifice. Just take a free pawn. The sacrifice is cute though, and white does retain an advantage over here. Yeah, and here he tried to block out the bishop, maybe even try to trap it or something, but didn't really work out. Yeah, and here is something I was talking about earlier, Halim doing these random checks. There is absolutely no need to do this check. In fact, here knight g8, protecting h6, and black might hold on in this position. It's not so bad, actually. Because, yeah, it's 3 pawns on the minor pieces, but still. Titian, it kind of does count as 2000, but probably you can. The importance of tactics is more important. You're 1500 on chess.com, Gilad? No, that's absolutely unbelievable, man. Dr. 1000 IQ. That's one of the secrets of your success, Dr. 1000 IQ. When Dr. 1000 IQ was 10 years old, he played 3030 plus 0 games on chess.com. Yeah, keep doing tactics, Cherchevsky endgames, and openings. After every blitz opening, look up the database and the database. Let's do it here. For example, we take a look at the opening here. So here it's normal, normal, and then bishop e3. This is an abnormal move, our first abnormal move. So we take a look here, and bishop b6 is the most common. Instead, we played bishop takes e3. So we say to ourselves, in the next blitz game I play, if I ever reach this position, ever again in my chess career, I know to play bishop b6 here, and not bishop takes e3, because that scores about 40% for white. Now, there aren't a lot of games here, so the sample is really questionable, but you get my point. You can do this for all of your games. Every blitz game you play do this for the openings. That's what I do. And the endgames, check Cherchevsky's practical endgame course. You start learning how to play proper practical endgames. Theoretical endgames are important, but they're stressed way too often. like 100 endgames you must know, and other such books. Silman's endgame course, they're great, but Cherchevsky's endgame course is, I think, more important for improving chess. Some theoretical positions, like Magnus Carlsen was solving 100 endgames you must know, and I think there was one position where he didn't solve it. And if it's called the 100 endgames you must know and the world champion isn't solving it, yeah, it's because theoretical endgames don't happen. Sometimes they might not ever happen in your career. So there is benefit to studying them even if they never do happen, because they teach you tactics, they teach you how the pieces move in endgames, how the pieces move in a way, how they connect to each other, the cohesiveness, not how they move as in literally how they move, because you of course know how to do that. So yeah, that's why practical endgames are more important, because, like, for example, how to play knight against bishop endgames. That's very important. If one side has good pawns, one side doesn't have good pawns. Things like that. Or a pawn up rook endgame, or a pawn up rook plus bishop versus rook plus knight endgame, or a pawn up rook plus knight versus rook bishop endgame. These kinds of things. Yeah, that's right, Dr. 1000 IQ. Started chess this year. Wow, man, and you got to 2000 lead chess? That's insane. 1000 IQ, you must know. Good one. Ah, okay. Yeah, 2000 in 1 year is, I think, almost unheard of. But yeah, doable. But, ah. Okay, so, yeah, takeaway message from this match for Halim, I said it before. Hashim is someone you need to punish in the opening. If you don't, he gets to play a lot of good moves and very quickly, and he's going to put you in time pressure. Now, I will stream in like 20 minutes again, maybe less. But for now, let me show you the joke we have here. Where is it? Tools, board editor. What am I doing? Clearboard. So two casual chess players. This is something Halim watched with it. Oh, you guys can't see this. Yeah, that would really suck if I were saying all of this joke and you guys can't see the board. So what is it? It's on 7. I need to make it like this. And let's already make the other part smaller for future reference. Yeah. Okay, let me check out your rating. TTN. Okay, you're 1900, man. That's still pretty darn good. Chess is fun. I love your profile moniker. Not moniker, but statement. Okay, so two casual players just reached this position, seemingly not knowing what to do here. Okay, we traded all our pieces. We're left with only kings. What happens when we're left with only kings? They can never meet, these kings, and they don't have any supporting pieces. So what happens when we are left with only two kings? That's a very interesting question. Well, of course, we must play on to find out. We cannot find out on our own. So they play on. So they play on here. Black plays this. White plays this. Black plays this. And white plays this. So white is seemingly chasing black, right? So black plays this. White plays this. Black plays this. And white, you guessed it, he plays this. So very interesting. So we have reached a stalemate of sorts. Now can black go back? No, he can't. I'm sorry guys, I kind of ruined this a bit. So white is still here. So can black go back now? No, he can't. So if white were to play here, black can't go back. And then maybe black will have to go here, go forward, and white will take black and win the game, right? So here, instead of white pushing forward as he was doing, white went here. And then black went here. And then white went here. And black went here. And white went here. And black went here. White went here. And black went here. And after white going here, instead of black playing this move, he played instead, you guessed it, this move. And they kind of teased us too many times. And this kept going on, and they moved around the board, and they moved around the board, and all of a sudden they realized that chess is not a game for them. And with that, I'll end the stream, guys. See you in about 10 minutes.